All right, it is now 8:14. We're going to do an extended cut in here because we've had some pretty drastic changes in the conditions across the Oklahoma City metro. In the last 15 to 20 minutes, we have had dozens of accidents pop up in the west and southwest metro on the interstates. I-40 is a mess. One of the problems is, even though skies have cleared out, we had all that moisture on the roads and temperatures dropped down below freezing. So we have a couple of multi-vehicle accidents, and what it mainly is are the bridges, and folks are hitting those going highway and interstate speed. So you have got to slow down. If you know someone that's about to head on the roads right now, let them know. Some of the bridges have become slick and hazardous. It's very deceiving since the bright sun is up and there is no precip falling. Let's first go out to Jeremy Carter. Jeremy, conditions have changed so quickly here in just the last few minutes. The sun is shining, but the bridges are a mess. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, Lacey, and really it feels pretty good when you're driving around. On my way up, coming up, I crossed a creek, and Walnut Creek south of Blanchard, and you can see clearly that there was a glazed ice on this bridge, and there were two vehicles dumped on the other side of that bridge. Just really, people got to pay attention. They got to take it slow. You're better off taking it easy than having a wreck. Back to you, Lacey.
Absolutely, and it's not going to last much longer. That's the thing. We had almost like a flash freeze in the West Metro with some of the bridges. It's not all of them. It's hard to say exactly where, but now that the sun is up, we're going to have melting. It's going to get better here in the next hour. Let me take you back to the maps and show you. We had 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 inches of snow across central Oklahoma, some higher amounts to the southwest. Much of that was melting as it was falling, and that allowed for all that moisture to accumulate on the roads, some slush at times. Officially 3.2 inches of snow in Oklahoma City, an inch to the north. Roads were mainly wet, a little slushy, and then boom, the skies cleared out and we dropped to the 20s and the low 30s, and that allowed some of those elevated surfaces not in contact with that warm soil to then become icy. 27 in El Reno, 31 in Yukon, 31 in Piedmont, 32 degrees in Oklahoma City, low 30s from Edmond to Guthrie, some mid 30s to the south. That freezing line is nudging in, but these temps are already warmed in western Oklahoma, where you have the sunshine. It's slushy, wet roadways, and then boom, some of the bridges are icy where you've had more snow. There's a lot more slush and the chance for the bridges to be a little worse. And guys, I know the metro right now, especially the West Metro, is littered with accidents. Let's get out to our crews. Lacey, over to you at the desk.
Lacey, 28 crashes in less than an hour. It did really switch over. We want to focus right now on a multi-vehicle crash involving a school bus. It's I-40 right at Garth Brooks Boulevard. Our Natalie Cruz is live out there, and it looks like, Natalie, all of these vehicles just slid down the big hill behind you, almost like they were sledding. Go ahead.
Yes, that's exactly right. We are actually in the Brumps parking lot right off of the Garth Brooks exit, and I'm going to step out of the way and show you what's going on here. We just talked to a few people that were involved in this crash. 8 vehicles total, one person told us. They were all passing the bridge and just slid down off of the interstate. Now, that school bus right there, I did talk to the person who was driving that school bus. Good news is that there were no children involved, and those people tell us that there are no serious injuries. Everyone is okay. She said she was actually transporting this school bus to a school district in California. So just to ease everyone's minds there were no kids in there. Again, everyone is okay. Right now, they're just working on cleaning up this mess. But it was really interesting. We were talking to those people here at Brahms as they're waiting to see what's next for them and their vehicles. And they say that they don't know really what happened. It was kind of like a blur. They just passed the bridge. This was after the bridge. I just want to point that out because usually bridges are really slick. And so they said it was after the bridge. They all just started sliding down kind of one by one. It was a domino effect. So you just want to make sure you are being very cautious as you head out the door, because there could be some freezed ice that's freezed over in really slick spots. So just give yourself plenty of time as you're heading out the door this morning. The sun's out, so hopefully things will start to get better, and we'll keep you guys updated. For now in Yukon, I'm Natalie Cruz for Oklahoma Zone News 9.
Natalie reporting live. So great to hear that there were no students on that school bus and it's not actually a part of Oklahoma School District. Let's get over to Hannah Scholl. She's got several other crashes, unfortunately. Hannah?
Yeah, all of our crews are on crashes right now, or crashes that recently cleared. Most of them are on bridges and overpasses. That's where we're seeing slick spots. And a lot of them are also multi-vehicle wrecks. So kind of a domino effect, just like the one in Natalie's shot, where it's a slick spot, one car starts it, and then they keep hitting each other or just sliding off the roadway. So this one is on I-40. It's going to be in the westbound lanes right between Council and Morgan Road. This one actually involving an OKC PD car as well. So 6 cars are involved in this particular accident, only 1 lane getting by. There is a 1.5 to 2 mile backup in both the eastbound and westbound lanes because of this accident. So really slow going on I-40 on west sides of the metro. Let's take a look now at our next crew. This one just showing the road conditions currently. They were originally on an accident right near Bryant, and Bryant was shut down for the time, but that has since cleared, so that's good. Let's take our next crew. This one is going to be 150th right near Portland. This is actually a bridge, or an overpass rather, and a slick spot has developed here. They've been watching and they've been seeing people kind of lose control on this bridge. So definitely be aware of the bridges and overpasses no matter where you are. We've been seeing a lot of ice develop on them. Let's take a look at our last crew again. This was Natalie's accident that she was at involving a school bus, multiple vehicles in this wreck as well. So let's take a look now at the map. So we had one at I-40 that I showed you first. This is the backup with that, 6 cars with this one. Just a little bit further to the west, also on I-40 in the eastbound lanes right at Mustang Road, a 5-car accident also reported there. And then the one that Natalie's at is 8 cars. So things have started really to pile up, and it's really the domino effect, as I was mentioning earlier. This area, a lot of bridges at this intersection, State Highway 66, Lake Hefner Parkway, and I-44. There is an accident there as well, and of course it's right near a bridge and overpass. So that's another spot that you will be slowing down a lot. So really just take it slow. Again, the sun is out, so hopefully we'll see some melting soon. But let's take a look really quick at Skype 1. I can show you the response and accident tracker. It lit up just in the past like 50 minutes or so with 28 crashes all across the metro, but mainly along and to the west of I-35. So that's really the story this morning. Lacey.
All right, yeah, thanks so much, Hannah. That has been the problem, is that we had all the temperatures that were in the low 30s. We were above freezing almost all night in Oklahoma City, 33 degrees, and then dipped down just below freezing. So those elevated surfaces that had all the water on them started to get some patches of ice. It's not a solid sheet of ice, and that almost makes it more dangerous. Folks going highway, interstate speeds, hit that elevated surface, and then boom, you've got multi-vehicle accidents, especially along I-40. So that's why our crews are out. Our news crews are still out bringing you these updates to these different accidents. We also have Jeremy Carter out on the roadways. Brandon Pennell was out for us through the morning. The sun is up. It's shining brightly. The rays are going to work, melting things. I think maybe 30 more minutes of this, and even the ice that developed will have melted. But Jeremy, you just came across another bridge. Give us an update for what folks need to know this morning.
Yeah, the bridges definitely do have patches of ice on them. And since I've left the house, Lacey, I've seen at least 8 vehicles in the ditch. You can tell they all slid off the road. So even where there's not patches of ice, like in the center median for here, for example, or the center line, you can see the slush pile up. If that catches your tire, it's going to pull you either way. And so really people just need to slow it down a little bit. Treat them as though they're icy, whether they are or not. Back to you, Lacey.
Okay, that's great advice there, Jeremy. Just use caution. Most of this is liquid. Most of this is not ice, but you don't want to hit a patch of ice when you are unprepared. And again, it will be melting very soon. Let me take you to the maps and show you what happened over the last 12 hours. So we were flirting with freezing all night long. Most of the morning during our newscast, 33 degrees. Everything was continuing to melt. Then the skies cleared out and that blanket of cloud cover moved out and the temperature tanked. And we were worried about a window there around sunrise where we might start to get some ice. Unfortunately, that has happened, and we have numerous accidents now. On our Lucky Star Skycam network, live from El Reno, you can see more of the snow on the ground. Again, that will continue to melt with the bright sun. Broadway extension looking good, but there are a lot of surfaces and a lot of bridges on the Broadway extension. I think what happened mostly on 235 was the water not only was on the road, but it dried with so much traffic, and we don't have any additional ice. Some areas you're going to drive, the roads are fine. If you see liquid, just know it could be patches of ice. 1 to 3 to 4 inches to the northeast across central Oklahoma, 2 to 3.5, 5 to locally 6 inches in the southwest. You're not going to see it now, though. A lot of it melted overnight and is continuing to melt this morning. 3.2 inches of snow in Oklahoma City, and it was a heavy, wet snow. So there's so much moisture around. With temps like this, you have to be careful. 34 and more in Norman, 33 Minco, no ice in Shawnee or Chandler. It's the metro, Oklahoma City to Edmond, back to Yukon, Mustang, the Village. That's really the area of most concern. Back to El Reno, where some of those bridges could be slick and hazardous. Even into western Oklahoma, if your roads didn't dry overnight, and most did, watch the bridges for sure. You're still in the 20s. Current conditions, wet roads. Some areas it's slush and some areas it's ice. Watch southwestern portions of the metro from Union City to Mustang to Blanchard to Chickasha, where especially the secondary roadways are still pretty slushy. Slick travel, it's not completely treacherous, but if you hit a patch of ice going 70 miles per hour, that could put you in a very bad situation. It's going to get a lot better because the snow is now pulling away. It's moving to the northeast. Next Gen Live, completely dry and clear, but we're tracking the snow from Claremore to Chakotah to Eufaula, points to the north and east. Even this shot on our Lucky Star Skycam network from OCCC, the parking lot getting a lot more melting than what it had just about an hour ago, but we're sitting right at 32 degrees with full sun. I don't think we'll see additional ice. We just have to watch for the little bits of ice that's out there right now. North winds causing it to feel like the teens and 20s on your Monday morning, and the temperature warming up to 45 later today. Full sun coming up today, cold tonight, 50s tomorrow, 60s by Wednesday. But right now, Lace, we are seeing a lot of accidents. Over to you.
Lacey, thank you. I want to check in with our Addie Crawford. She is checking out some crashes. Addie, where are you and how's it looking?
Well, Lacey, we are at an extremely slick spot at North Portland in Northwest 150th. It's actually the Jack Schmiedel Memorial Bridge. A truck actually rolled over just before this bridge, then got towed away about 15 minutes ago. Cars were going really slow on this bridge. They're not really driving in this area right now, which might be a good idea because it is so slick. I want you to look in this shot. In the right lane, you'll see the snow, or not the snow, excuse me, you'll see the precipitation starting to ice over on this overpass. The crash is up ahead. They've moved off into the shoulder, but these drivers should really avoid this area. Back to you, Lacey.
Addie, and you can tell in Addie's shot that bridge is actually in the shade, a little bit colder, and all of a sudden we have slick conditions over that bridge right near Francis Tuttle. So folks, just be safe. You'll be driving fine and then maybe encounter one of these conditions, and that's why we've had about 30 crashes in the last hour. We are monitoring the roadways. We'll be back with more in just a moment. You're watching News 9.